Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable, said John F. Kennedy. The most dangerous creation of any society is the man who has nothing to lose, said James Baldwin. And Martin Luther King Jr. said, a riot is a language of the unheard. Welcome back, my wise astrology tribe. This is Lunar Grace, and I am your co pilot, Christina. I'm back with some cosmic insight again, and it will be like you are watching the Joker movie again and again. By the way, Joker movie is one of my favorite whatsoever. But before I start, please like, subscribe, comment, and help hype these videos. Let me know where this aspect is taking place in your chart, what house it activates, and how is it showing up in your real life. I try to read the comments and try to answer it. Also, timestamp going to be available the day after the video going to premiere. And for everyone new over here, I have a Pisces sun, my moon is in Leo, and I'm Sagittarius rising, definitely obsessed with quotes. You can see that I'm queen of the quotes. I love Sabian symbols, fixed stars. I'm totally newly obsessed with Arabic Lats, and I love history in general and mythology, and also I think I'm a pretty good storyteller as well. I always research, like I have my Uranus in Scorpio exalted and it's in a grand water trine. So I like to dig deep. I get into rabbit hole and I get obsessed and, sometimes I can't take off my mind about astrology and just digging all the time. But on the other hand is, if you are in my on my channel, please be nice in the comments and you don't necessarily have to agree with me, obviously. And, astrology is as above, so below. I'm not going to be able to translate all the, possible outcome this Uranus-Mars conjunction can make or the way it can unfold. But I'm trying my best over here. So if you don't agree with me, that's okay. If you think my accent is terrible or energy is clashing, you can simply move on, have a beautiful life. I'm, okay with that. You are not forced here to listen me, obviously. And, peace is very important for you and me as well. All right, right now we're going to talk about Gemini itself, because I like mythology and always bring in the mythology, about the topic. And right now we're going to talk about Gemini, and it is the twins in astrology, rules the third house, ruled by Mercury, the twins who were born from two different eggs and had two different feathers. And one of them was literal son of Zeus, right? And the other one was just a regular human guy. All right, so these twins, we call them Castor and Pollux. And this is a very, very wild story in astrology and quite heartbreaking as well for me. So their mother was Leda, queen of Sparta. She was really, really beautiful. And in Greek mythology, if you read all the Greek mythology and also, or if you watch that right now, you can watch it on Netflix or on YouTube. It's beautiful. It's really great. Then actually being beautiful in Greek mythology was kind of cursed, because there was always a god. Mostly it was Zeus and it was Poseidon who went around and tried to seduce you. And Leda was seduced by Zeus. And actually, Zeus showed up as a swan, a black swan. And then, the same night, Leda obviously adultery, cheated on the husband, slept with her husband, and slept with Zeus, the king of the gods as well. And her husband also was a king, a human king, and his name was Tyndareus. And the result was like Leda gave birth to, from two eggs actually, to Pollux and Castor. But from one egg, which was fertilized by Zeus, there was an immortal son, which is Pollux, and also another girl was born, and that was Helen, Helen of Troy. And then the same egg they hatched from, right? And then the other egg also had two human. I mean, the other was like immortals, obviously gods and goddess, but this one was actually Castor and from the human king, and his sister came from this egg. So she actually had two twins, one divine and one human. One will live forever and the others will die. But the sad story over here, they were inseparable. Actually, Castor and Pollux was really inseparable. And Castor, the human one, became the greatest horseman in all of Greece. And, that was his thing. No superpowers, no immortality, nothing, just pure skills, dedications, years of practice. He meant his horse. That's it. The best there was. But Pollux actually became undefeated boxer, demigod strength, incredible fighter, seemingly unstoppable. And together they were the Dioscuri, the sons of Zeus, even though technically only one of them was. But the word called them both of that, right? And because they moved as one, the twins. And they sailed with Jason and they rescued their sister Helen when she was kidnapped as a child before the whole Troy situation, before the whole Trojan War, right? And they were the protectors of the sailors in ancient Greek mythology. Believed that if you saw a double flame dancing on your ship, it must be actually Castor and Pollux, and they were there to say you are okay, you are actually not going to sink by or during storm. So that was the duality of double flame, and two different natures, but one kind of signal. That is Gemini, and Gemini is really adaptability, also curiosity, because it's ruled by Mercury. The adaptability to move between worlds as well. The mortal and divine, earth and the sea, the skills of the body and the gift of the gods. Gemini keywords is, mind, duality, communication, information, wit, logic. Gemini could be a stand-up comedist guy, guys, intelligence and youthfulness. Anyone who has Gemini ascendant or moon or Gemini Venus on the ascendant is very youthful. My second son has that, and he has such a baby face. Even at 14, he looks like 10, very, very baby face. And later on, it's going to be good for him. But right now, not necessarily. So Gemini also, anything to do with networking, with journalism, writing, learning, media, storytelling itself, and commerce, selling and buying, the roads, right? Uh, Gemini never just one thing, that is the twins, and at least two things together. And, Castor died. They got into a fight over a woman, two women actually, and because of course, this is Greek mythology, there was a battle, and of course, Castor was struck down and killed, and Pollux was devastated, guys. So Pollux could not handle to lose his twin brother, and he was immortal. So if he loses his brother, he will suffer forever, right? So he went to the father's Zeus, Jupiter, and obviously he's undefeated in combat, and he is blessed with every single divine gift that Jupiter can give him, right? And he's standing there and he is, very upset because of his mortal brother, fall apart and died. And he's like, okay, but I don't want to leave if I'm alone. He was everything to me. So that's why he went to his father and said, listen, I cannot live without him. You have to do something. You have to make him also immortal. And you know what Zeus said? Zeus said, okay, all right. even if Zeus is not really devoted father, we know that also from mythology, but he said, okay, this story is moving me. Yes, I'm going to give you a gift over here, and I'm going to make sure, like Castor also going to be immortal, but you're going to share the sky and the underworld. So you're going to go, one of you gonna go to Olympus one day, and next day you're going to go to Hades, to the underworld in the dark, and you're going to alternate, never be together ever again, right? Before they been always together, they were inseparable. But in this case, Zeus was like, yes, I'm doing something for you, but you're never gonna be together. So that's what's happened. Yes, Castor became also, alive again, immortal, just like his brother Pollux. But, they are inseparable in the sky, obviously, for eternity, because they placed in the sky as the constellation of Gemini, the twins over there, but they never really together. That's the duality of Gemini. That's not the typical double face, what we think over here. It is the duality of the two personalities, right? Of Gemini, because one of them is in the dark and the other one up in Olympus. One of them mortal, the other is divine. One of them has, regular skills. The other has the master skills. They move between the words. They are bridging between the birds, between the words. Gemini also, like ruling the nervous system. It's like a bridge. It's connection. The neurotransmitters, especially when Uranus is in Gemini, that's definitely neurotransmitters in the brain. So yes, the twins were protectors of the sailors, uh, which is also, a beautiful story and about that. And then we also have to talk about the Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini, because that's the topic over here, guys. And then we're going to a little bit talk about Hermes, because that's what rules Gemini. And Hermes, Mercury, is actually the little brother of Uranus. You also have to know that. And Uranus right now in Gemini feels really good because of he loves to be in his little brother sign. He likes to be there. He can teach Mercury. He feels, the big boy over here. Yes. And Gemini actually ruled by Hermes, Mercury, the messenger. Hermes was not the biggest god, guys, but and he also definitely was not the strongest. He definitely was not like Zeus, who was throwing lightning bolts, or Poseidon, like shaking the oceans. But Hermes was the smartest one and the fastest, and also Hermes was the funniest as one. And, he is, let's be honest, he's kind of a little criminal. He's a petty thief, right? Because on the literal day he was born, he crawled out of his cradle, snuck across, Olympus, and stole the sacred kettle of Apollo, the god of sun, the god of music, one of the most powerful gods on the mountain. And Hermes stole his cows. Then he made shoes for the cows so their hoof prints went backward. Then he went home and got back in his cradle and pretended to be asleep. So he was witty, he was mischievous, and he was a thief already, and he was only 1 day old. When Apollo found him and dragged him to Zeus, he's literally the king of the gods, we know that, the highest court in the universe. Hermes looked Zeus in the eye and lied, confidently, cheerfully, with zero remorse. And Zeus, the king of gods, laughed because he could see Hermes was lying, and he still kind of loved it. And that is the Gemini energy, wit and speed and duality, the ability to be two things at one, innocent and guilty, serious and playful, the messenger and the thief. And Gemini also rules language and mind as well, and logic as well, gossiping and intelligence as well, And Uh, it's the wires, the roads, the signals, the news feed, the trade route as well, the code. Gemini is Mercury is coding, guys. And then we have to talk about Mars as well, the god of war. Mars is Aries in Greek mythology. And here is the thing about Aries that most people don't really know. Other gods didn't really like him. Zeus called him the most hateful of all the gods. His own father told him to, it told him that into his face because Aries wasn't strategic like Pallas Athena. He wasn't clever whatsoever. He wasn't noble. He just loved fighting for the sake of fight. He showed up on battlefield just to be in it. The blood, the chaos, the pure raw aggression of combat, he loved it. He was the god of assertiveness and anger and courage, willpower and ambition, obviously, and competitiveness as well, but also raw instinct and confrontation, impulse, risk taking, aggression and passion, dominance. The warrior archetype. In your body, Mars rules your muscles, your blood, your circulation, your iron, inflammation and infection, fever, cuts, burns, accidents, the adrenal glands, the testosterone, and anything what is fast and hot. Mars also rules what happens, uh, medical astrology, it has to be something which is not a chronic, slow, something to do with accident, something to do with, fever that spikes overnight, surgeries, because Mars is the blade and it rules the surgeries as well. The fights, what starts but ends in a second because it's so impulsive. In the world and mundane astrology, Mars is military forces, it's the war, the weapon itself. It could be, riots, especially with Uranus together, protests, civil unrest, armed conflict, anything to do with police as well and invasions, crime spikes. Uranus, Mars together is terrorism as well. And Mars shows usually where the word or where the client ready to fight. And in financial astrology, Mars is defense and also defense contractor, defense weapons, weapon manufacturers, surgeon, firefighters, litigation, aggressive sales, security sectors, startups, also oil drilling, because Mars rules Scorpio as well, and there is drilling, anything to do with constructions and engineering as well. Mars builds, destroys, and initiates. And Uranus is, absolutely the white card over here because Uranus in mythology is the sky itself, It's the primordial sky god, father of the Titans, the grandfather of Zeus. And he is actually the ancient beyond ancient because of he was just there, didn't born from anything, just like Gaia. Just it was just a bow and Gaia below. So immediately they became the mother of the father of everything possible. So he was there before everything, and he got overthrown by his own son Cronus. Cronus is Saturn, the lord of karma. And Cronus castrated him with a sickle and threw him out of power. And from Uranus' wound, actually from his penis, the seam started to foam. And from that foam, Aphrodite was born. Aphrodite is Venus. It's very funny for me, beauty born from violence and disruption, but that's what it is. That is Greek mythology. When I was young and was studying Greek mythology, oh my God, I was bored out of my mind. And I was like, how is it possible? But also when I was reading the Torah and the Bible, I was like infuriated because, just violent everywhere. And the Greek mythology also violence all over. And I was like, how can it be like Aphrodite, the Venus coming out from the penis of Uranus, born from that, it is the genitors, I'm sorry. So I was like, no way. But that is Uranus, and Uranus is the force of radical. Uranus is absolutely ungovernable. um, he is like creates accidents and very powerful because it rules individuality and rebellion and the genius. I love Uranus. It is a really really genius planet, and it's also detachment but awakening. Very erotic, very very erotic behavior. It's liberate us. However, it's unpredictable. Uranus can act like, like the eclipses, non-conformity and innovation. In our body, actually, Uranus rules the nervous system, the electric shocks, seizures, anything to do with spasm, trauma, sudden illnesses, neurological disruption. You know, for example, something to do with stroke, something to do with autism, especially if it's badly affected, something to do with um, even Alzheimer, dementia, Parkinson, ALS. That is Uranus, if it's badly affected with malefic planets, guys. So yeah, and also, in the world, it's rules something to do with revolutions, technological advancement, AI, space exploration, and Uranus, Mars. We will see like a lot of rocket could be going up to space, but they can actually disappear or explode. I just wanted to show, and what is that? Right now I'm going to maybe show some slides for you guys, and maybe I'm going to also show some kind of chart for you guys as well. But yes, that is Uranus. It's definitely uh, in the world, it's cyber warfare, hacking, surveillance, and also electric grid as well, the electricity. And in financial astrology, Uranus is cryptocurrency, technology, stock, anything to do with meme stock or black swan events, anything to do with space stocks as well, fintech, blockchains, Tesla. Uh, you know, yeah, some kind of, and it can bring in, especially with Mars together, crashes as well, unexpected crashes, because Uranus is not simply working in anywhere. Uranus erupts. Uranus changing the market overnight. It's rewrite the price overnight. So what's really happens when these two going to meet actually in Gemini, and it's going to happen in 4th degree, the warrior and the lightning bolt and at Hermes crossroads, right? So Mars wants to fight, guys, and Uranus wants to break down everything. But Gemini hands them both, a smartphone and says, you know what? Okay, have you considered doing this at the speed of information? So fight through technologies, fight through social media, fight through, like censorship of social media or making AI propaganda, and then people confuse people so they won't know, what is real or what is not real. Because Mars in Gemini fights with words, with media, the narrative warfare, the algorithm. It could divide us or it could inflame situation. Information can be used during this time as a weapon, and you can see that because I'm blackmailed. I'm always have some, because I'm talking a lot of politics and politicians about politicians and predict Middle East war, and that's why obviously I'm on blacklist of on a YouTube algorithm. Uranus in Gemini shatters the way of information moves. Anything to do with decentralized networks, AI, it could bring the death of legacy media. And it could really dissolve, maybe even dissolve language barriers as well, because we're going to work and communicate through codes. And I told you guys during this time we're going to 2.5 years ago, when I did my first video about Uranus in Gemini on Lada's channel, I told you we're going to understand babies crying and dog barking. We're going to have UFO invasions. Yes, because Uranus is UFOs as well. But Uranus and Gemini, unfortunately, sudden explosion as well, something to do nuclear war, something to do with nuclear power, right? It's explosive. But also the information could be explosive, and it could distract people because it could bring in some kind of ADHD, attention deficiency, because we are going to be filled with information. Uranus also, frequency as well. So when you Mars Uranus together, they could create some kind of very high frequency noise, which could bother the brain or create seizures. And then if there is some kind of protest or civil war, they could use that kind of frequency to not allow people to come together. But it could be also cyber attacks. Nobody saw coming, but actually right now people are aware, and I do see a lot of podcasts. Finally, people are waking up, and that's what I was waiting for, because actually Uranus in Gemini is hiring the IQ. And I hope people are wakening up. Uranus is the Akashic record, guys. It is your crown chakra. You can download the information from heaven, from God, from the universal knowledge, whoever you want to call it, whatever your religion based on and your belief system. But you can download information suddenly overnight, right? And write a book over, you just download a beautiful transcript and you're just gonna write it the next day, like Sylvester Stallone did with Rocky. So yeah, and so they are definitely getting a microphone, or either a phone or a microphone from Hermes, from Gemini, and they gonna fight with words, with codes, with algorithm. And it could be really shocking information. It could be also a lot of brilliant ideas, a lot of amazing researches, guys, definitely. It could be also, like some kind of breakthrough in neurology. And I do believe they're going to find some, maybe with chips, but they're going to find a solution for autism and dementia. I told you guys before. Yes, and we might going to use our own electricity to either, use it for healing, or we can actually dispel other people with your own electricity. Uranus over here could be that, right? Um, and it is almost like, so I also wanted to talk about the Sabian symbol as well, because the Sabian symbol is a mistletoe, actually reawaken old memories as Christmas. First of all, I want to talk about mistletoe itself. I love that herb because if usually I do an overnight cold soaking of mistletoe, and they use it. If you have seen the truth about cancer, guys, they use it for cancer prevention and healing. So mistletoe also good for spasm and for menstrual, like spasm, for example, cramp. So you do that overnight, and then in the morning you just drain it, and you just heat it up a little bit, and you drink it, sip it, heat it up, but never broil. And it is amazing for spasm, and it's amazing also migraine headaches, any kind of, cramp, for example. But back to the Sabian symbol, 4 degree over here, Uh, so this is actually bringing back memories and tradition. It is also very emotional because, it's a mistletoe, it's old memories of Christmas, so something to do with family stories, something with emotion, with childhood, maybe. It could be also nostalgia, or it could be also cultural rituals as well, right? So that's what it says. And the degree itself, it's the first decan. So that's very Mercurian, very Gemini decan, that's definitely something to do with memories, something to do with siblings, relatives, niece, nephews, younger siblings, neighbors, old letters, or, messages could maybe return, or an old lover could return. That is the Sabian symbol over here. Or, just an old friend from primary school going to reach out again, and somehow you're going to reconnect. Uh, so that's definitely brings through by this Sabian symbol over here. Um, but then we move forward and we're going to talk more about Uranus and Mars over here. Uranus is also tornadoes, guys, because it's wind, right? It's ruled by Aquarius, and it rules earthquake, and also it rules shocks and tension and tremor. So it could actually be sudden ruptures, some kind of shock. What is like, I truly believe we're going to have a nuclear facility explosion, or we're going to have some crazy idiotic arse letting go a nuclear weapon, because I'm going to show you the historical parallel, guys. But when we had Uranus Mars conjunction, and especially in Gemini, we did have, like nuclear issues during that time. So, yes, but it could bring in some kind of electrical failure, aviation events. It could be like airplane crashes because of some kind of cyber conflict, cyber attack, or the technology is not working, the monitors are not working. And if you have seen the Obama, I always talk about that, leave the world behind. It does talk about same situation. It's almost like a predictive programming, right? Because they do that with us. They do predictive programming. Because if you have seen the what is that? The Snake Eye with Nicolas Cage, and there was somebody who was Charles Kirkland, who was killed by a Palestinian. That was like insane, and they do predictive programming. So I do believe that Obama, what he really wanted us to know there will be some kind of explosion, and there will be, something like we are manipulated, and there are going to be a lot of accident, and it could be airplane accident. So I would cancel my trip. I would never go during this time, Uranus, Mars. And because of it's in Gemini, and it's also squares the nodes, and the nodes is, the shift of the collective. So yeah, I would think about that as well. And even if it is trining with Pluto, guys, it's still a trine is, usually Jupiterian, but it can inflate situation, the increase volatility, or it could increase violence, terror attacks, for example, earthquakes. And I do see some kind of volcanic events, some kind of volcanic eruptions as well, with earthquake or perhaps even tsunami. But I do see fire. So if it is a tsunami, then, it could obviously destroy a lot of electricity around, or, some powerhouses, chemicals. Uranus, Mars could be chemical leaks as well. So it is not going to be a good event over here. And then we're going to talk about the US and everything else. I will bring you in all the, what is that? All the charts over here. Mars is, heat and weapons, soldiers. So you will see people to be angry and bloodthirsty. You will see a lot of violence, a lot of, it's almost like Uranus, Mars together, like Aries, like one people to suffer. So you will see a lot of videos about the war crimes, how they actually, in Middle East, and we know the country with the blue and white flag, a 6 point star over there, which is doing war crimes and how they humiliate other humans. It's like incredible even to watch the comments, how many people are laughing. If somebody's, suffering, it's almost like satanic to me, demonic. Uh, but also Uranus Mars is like, okay, you attacked us, but we're going to get liberated. I cannot do that anymore. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight for my speech, freedom of speech. Uranus is freeing you. Mercury is speech and Gemini, and Mars is fighting for freedom of speech over here. Or we can push back for technology and AI plantations. Like right now, Peter Thiel, dear Peter Thiel, moved his husband out from America because he knows what's going on and what's going to happen on the 250th birthday of America. It was planned. So he moved out and he went to Argentina. Very funny. Because who went to Argentina after the Second World War? Of course, all the Nazis, right? They found went there because refugee there. They found refugee over there. So Peter Thiel and the hubby is there. Anyway, they had some kind of investigation against them when Peter Thiel, a young lover who did the clothes seeding for him, fell out accidentally from the Miami sky scaper, whatever, like obviously that was an accident over there as well. All right. Yes. So they moved out. So obviously they know something gonna happen in the US, right? The building Trump is trying to finish the ballroom for his birthday. It's in 12 days, but he's very, very mentally, he's very ill, and his dementia is acting up, and he put actually GD Vance under the bus, so he really hates him, and it right now this is even inside in Mega. It's terrible right now. However, I told you guys, Pam Bundy going to have to resign just like Christy Gnome. Everything happened. And I told you guys last time when I checked Tulsi Gabbard, I was like, oh my God, she's gone too. So yes, and she will be gone too. And she did. Like 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, she resigned. And we can see, and you perhaps have seen, Pambandi has a thyroid cancer. I guess it's some kind of karma. I mean, I don't wish that on anyone, but I guess because of she covered up the whole entire terrible crime for Trump, and she didn't talk, she didn't say the truth, and perhaps that's her karma over there. Anyway, I still send her, like not evil energy, definitely not evil energy. All right, but what I wanted to say over here, I want to continue with, what does it? It's instability, it's volcano eruption, it's tsunami, and it's definitely huge tornadoes and huge earthquake, which could actually create an earthquake which is over 100,000 deaths or more. Yes, it could be also lightning strikes as well, but very, very intense lightning strikes, which could create a lot of what is that airplane crashes. So we will see, but it could we can go 3 days, without electricity or yeah, electricity. So it's a total blackout. It could create a total blackout. It's happened in Spain before, but it could happen. Oh my God, I have a mosquito buzzing by my ear. Um, so yeah, that's what it is. And Gemini, it's propaganda also because it is the media. You know what's happened. Larry Ellison bought everything and try to actually, censor media. And they do propaganda, AI propaganda. And, old people absolutely don't know what is AI and what is not. They don't know the differences. it could be, some kind of cyber satellite systems. But, I was just watching Kimi Verson lately, like a day ago, and she was talking about the Wi-Fi actually is capable right now to surveillance us because the heat of the body, it's like a bat can detect the heat of the animals, right? And that's why it's not flying into it. Wi-Fi does the same. So they know where are you all day long, if you eat, if you drink, if you have sex, whatever, because of just the heat of the body, it can read. So this is like very, very disturbing, okay? All right. But in so yes, so Gemini is yeah, it's transportation also, electric cars. So there could be some kind of issues with electric cars. And Uranus, Mars, it could be like terror attacks against media. Journalists, for example, they can kidnap journalists or they can actually they wanted to get rid of Tucker Carlson and even Candice Owen. It could be that as well. Why not? Something, so it could be something devastating like that. But other journalists as well. Um, and right now, they don't let the two British journalists from Young Turk to come to America. Oh, by the way, I know what I wanted to say because we're going to have the FIFA starts in the US. And during the time when we have July 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, we have in big cities, for example, games. And I think the terror attacks going to be on the FIFA games in the US because Mars is sports, Mars also sport as well. So they could do some kind of neurological weapons or some kind of load things. I'm telling you, which is going to be like you it's a very very high hertz which is like disturbing the brain and painful even to listen it high pitch and you won't be able to move, so some kind of violence obviously, and it could be on sport events, the violence or transportation on trains as well. So yeah, and definitely propaganda and cyber attacks as well. So we will see, but this is not good. And I don't know if you guys saw Nick Duggan and Chris Vernon. They were actually talking about and did a research about Mars and Uranus. Uh, and also, the historical parallel with that. But my favorite whatsoever is Jessica Davidson. I keep talking about her in each video because she's just amazing and check out her writing. She's like really good with historical parallels. But yes, Chris Bannon and Nick Duggan actually also talked about Mars-Uranus conjunction. They were talking about the Revolutionary War, in 1776, July 4th. And that's what we are actually celebrating in the US very soon. We're going to have the 250th birthday, It is when declaring that the colonies were breaking from the British rules. And that was the declaration of independence of America over there. So yes, there is a civil war, July 4th, 1776. And that was for us, Uranus was in Gemini as well during that time. Um, and also Uranus Mars was conjuncting in Gemini during the Revolutionary War as well. And then we had another civil war as well, and we had it in April 12th, 1861. We also had the Fort Sumter and the Civil War ignition. And that was also Mars Uranus in Gemini. The North versus the South. Maybe that's how you you understand that how you studied actually in history class. Yes, and Mars is war, and obviously Uranus is rapture. Rapture of the union, because that was the union was fighting, right? And then we also had the historical parallel, the Second World War, guys, when we had from Uranus 29 degrees to from Taurus to go to Gemini, and we also had a Uranus-Mars conjunction. During World War II, we had actually the Hiroshima-Nagasaki bombing as well, August 9th, August 6th, August 9th there, right? So yeah, that's what's happened when Uranus Mars was in Gemini. So we will have some kind of atomic bomb, or maybe they just going to try it. You know that Israel had 200 nuclear bomb already, like in the 90s, and that's why who was that? 1968. 63 actually, Kennedy died. He was against APEC. APEC was just made in 2000, oh no, 1963 January, and then Kennedy already died in November, right? So he was totally against APEC and against Israel to having that much atomic bomb and that much nuclear bomb, actually. But yes, that's what it is. And the other one was also the Soviet atomic test on the Cold War, when the Cold War happened, and it was 1949, actually, August 29th. So it is going to be definitely something to do with some kind of detonation, either atomic bomb or either some kind of nuclear weapon as well. And it's not going to be, guys, something which is accidental. I have to tell you, they want to initiate this. They are crazy. They are crazy because, one going to start, the other going to continue, and then we can be very quickly over with. But also we're going to have a lot of UFO invasion, and they are coming from underwater, guys. I always said they are. Oh, by the way, when I was 17, I did have a UFO, an amazing experience. We came home from watching the Little Buddha with five of my friends. That night, my friend's sister and boyfriend died in the major train crash in Hungary. And by the way, I had a dream a night before, and I knew it's gonna happen. So I had a prophetic dream also. But that night, we were going home, and then we just got like slow motion. We actually throw the leaves up in the air, and it stayed there for minutes. And there was six column, very very big white light columns, and something was hovering, but it was hovering like huge something above us. And a mile away I could see a couple to kissing, and the other mile away under this kind of light, and other, a man was going home with a bike late night. So it was crazy, and we never talk about that with my friends, with my five friends. I only started to talk about that. We stopped. We just like nothing happened. When my son, my firstborn, asked me if I believe in UFOs, and then I was like, oh my God, yes, let's call actually auntie and let's ask in Greeks, what does she think about that? Because we saw this. And then we started to talk about that we did have a UFO experience. And it was like, I feel very unique because I had this experience. So yes, but and I'm going back. So that was my personal, like detour over here. Uh, but what else could happen over here with Uranus and Mars? Uranus in Gemini, it's data. So there could be like whistleblowers going to release documents, and documents about Epstein file. Right now, you see Thomas Massey wants to actually release a lot of names and documents. Right now, more and more are coming out, which I'm very happy, obviously, or amazing regime leader is in the fire, and the wife as well. If you saw the Brazilian, the Brazilian friend who was also, what's her name? I forget. I'm gonna check it for you in a second. She is beautiful. Oh my God. Just a second, my brain is shutting sometimes. All right, I was just stuttering over here. So her name is actually Amanda Ungaro, and she was Paolo Zampoli's girlfriend, and they had a child together, a 16 years old son. And of course, Paolo Zampoli right now is protecting Melania and says, he was the one who introduced Melania to Trump and not Epstein. But Amanda Ungaro, they were actually divorcing, so they were not boyfriend girlfriend, but husband and wife. And Zampoli wanted to have the boy, and the woman Ungaro got the boy first. So he called his friendly Donald and said, "Okay, detain my wife." And they put her for 3 months in an ICE detention center. She got lice, and she is revengeful. She said, "Melania, you are a hooker, allegedly, and you were an escort, a low kind of escort, and I'm going to say everything about you and your pathetic husband. You both are criminals, and I know what did you do with the children." So I don't know if you saw that allegedly in the news, but that's what's happening right now. So yes, so definitely there is, and there will be a lot of whistleblowers coming out up and going to release documents. There will be a lot of hackers. Those Gen Z really knows how to deal with, AI and hacking computers and everything. So they might going to, even Iran. I saw that the videos, like they get into cache pattern emails. So they are absolutely capable, Russia capable as well. They are truly geniuses out there who are capable to get into and play with technology like that, and will be able to release the fires, most of the fires as well. Yeah. So yes, but it's definitely going to be some kind of transportation and aviation shocks as well. Maybe, something, a very fast airplane which is traveling with, I don't know, the 15 times more speed like the others are, because Mars is speed, right? So it could be some kind of new train or new plane coming into and being introduced. But obviously, that could be also, attacks as well, or some kind of accident with that as well. Drone attacks, plane incidents, car crashes. That's all Uranus, Mars, and especially Gemini. Gemini rules cars as well. So but definitely sudden military aviation escalation, or they going to draw people, children, because Gemini is children, so youth in some countries they going to mandatory drawing for military. It could be as well. Mm. Yes, so definitely please don't, use drugs. Uranus could be mushrooms, right? Or drive and text, or because it could be very devastating in a personal level. Or, if it is a major thunderstorm, lightning storm, stay in the car or stay inside. Don't run out to reach your car, things like that. Um, but uh, the modern parallel could be, networking and electricity issues. Some phones are not going to work. Education system is breaking down because, the old has to go out. Um, they're definitely going to be holographic teachers, guys. The children going to totally study different way, and they're going to study different way because of, you know, um, there is not going to be teachers also, because they want to have one government, and they want to have, like one salary for everyone, which is like we have to push back. I mean, I absolutely don't want them to control us. It's terrible. Yeah, but it could be like the banking platform, because of Mars is also could be banking in Scorpio, right? Mm. So there could be also some kind of disruption in banking, or maybe because of there is civil war and everybody wants to get the money out from the bank, but they just gonna close down like during COVID, and it could be an issue over there. deepfake scandals as well, and leaked intelligence documents. CIA, FBI, Mossad, who killed what, where, who did 9/11, what's happened with Kennedy, what's happened with Martin Luther King. That's why I brought for you guys the two quotes over there. Anyway, I'm doing the investigative astrology and I'm going to show you where the road going to lead, and it's not Rome. Yes, so Gemini rules the young people, students and schools, classrooms itself. So it's going to be like very technological, the classrooms right now. But Mars also going to bring anger as well. So careful if you put your children in summer ball or in camp, because there could be some kind of weapon conflict situation, especially in the US. I'm not talking about other country, unfortunately. It's all in US. But the good thing is Uranus is could be like youth-led movements. They can protest. They are not going to be being shut down or shut up. They are not scared. These children are not scared anymore, because they wanted to stop the campus speeches because of you cannot say anything about Middle East, Palestine, God forbid, because then you are being an anti-Semite, right? So it could be like they're not going to shut up and they're going to strike back. That could happen. And on the financial market, it could be also uh, some kind of issue with banking. It could be something also with, core issues, for example, especially electric vehicles, transportation, anything to do with media, technology stocks. We can have the 2.0, what is that? That's when we had the technological issues in the end of 90s and the very beginning of 2000s, around the millennia. And then we had an issue over there. So yeah, we can definitely have aviation issue and cybersecurity satellites installed everywhere. Uranus could be also semiconductors as well, and trading platforms, educational technology. Those all could actually show some kind of volatility during this time. And cryptocurrency and blockchains definitely could show that as well. Yes. What else could be? So I think maybe we're gonna push back to Palantir or ChatGPT. By the way, Iran said, because I was also listening a podcast where Iran said, because Sam Altman is providing information for the drones, so the blue and white flag country could use it to detect people, and like they killed a lot of scientists in Iran and politicians, and they said they're going to attack the AI plantation of ChatGPT in the Middle East. They're going to destroy it. Anyway, I just heard, I didn't know Sam Altman actually had a baby boy, was born on my 50th birthday in 2025, February 22nd, and absolutely premature. So they had what is that when they hired a womb, um, to have their son, because Sam Altman is gay also. Guess what? And he was actually accused by his sister to uh, sexually abused RAPE his sister, over through 7 years. But then the mother, obviously scared of Sam Altman and his power, and said, the sister is unstable, and nothing happened. Guess what? And, anyway, the investigation astrology is coming, guys. It's going to be very interesting. And we're going to get into Sam Altman and Shujir also, who was his partner and CEO at ChatGPT, and he died. Yes. So, But back to Uranus and Mars because I got distracted again and detoured over here. It's missiles and it's drones and it's cybersecurity, it's military drones as well. So we're going to have a lot of military drones or robotic battlefield somehow. Uh, I don't know, automated commands networks, something like that. Uh, hmm. It could split nations with civil war. It could become a revolutionary war, just like the Cold War, like World War II and the civil war in the US. And right now, I don't want to talk about anymore of, something to do with the European airports and whatever, because yes, Mars is attack and it could happen, airport attacks as well. Uranus is flying object, so it could be like a lot of terror attacks on airports as well. But I want to actually show you something else over here. I want to show you the chart of the United States. Where is this chart? And I want to show you also whens and okay, so here is, and is it July 4th? Yes, July 4th. Here it is, and I'm going to do this bigger, and I'm gonna share this chart with you guys. Sorry, it's gonna be a very long video, but I'm going to actually make sure you guys have timestamp. Okay, so here it is. So the United States has an ascendant of Sagittarius and Uranus and Mars going to conjunct at 4 degrees, very close to the natal Uranus. It's already doing a conjunction with the natal Uranus of open enemies, right? And there is also, guess what? Guess who is there? Epstein asteroid is with Uranus Mars conjunction over here. And what does it do, guys? I'm not even kidding, over here. It does square with asteroid America here. It does do a sextile with Israel and Israel in the North Node, the purpose of America in the ninth house. Ninth house is anything to do with, like not domestic, but trans export, import kind of business and Israel over here, right? And then let's see what does it do? What else does it do? It is opposing the ascendant of the US and it is squaring the node in the fourth house. Fourth house is the land of the US, right? And it is squaring with it, but it still squares with the moon over here. And guess what? The chart shows over here a very early, actually midnight chart, this one. But later on, when we're going to celebrate the 250th birthday of America, that's gonna be in the afternoon and at night. And the moon gonna be in Pisces already in 4 degrees in the afternoon. So it's going to totally square at 3:33. I checked it. It's 2:22 gonna go to Pisces. 3:33 is going to be a degree away. So at night it's going to square with Uranus, Mars over here. So on the land, the moon is the people, guys. The moon is the people. And Pisces rules veterans, it rules hospitals, it rules orphans, it rules prisons. So I guess it could be also a prison break, first of all. It also could be something to do with on the land, the vulnerable could be attacked, and it could be on the land some kind of terror attack, right? And because Pisces also representing big stadiums and big ball games, like it's ruled by Neptune, it's glamour. So that's why I said we are having multiple games actually during this time, FIFA games, and I'm very, very scared, we're going to have an attack over there. Let me just check the FIFA over here. I have like multiple monitors, but I want to do the FIFA games in America, in US. So I'm gonna check the dates over here. When is the schedule? Yes. So here is the schedule somewhere. Let me see, World Cup schedule. That's what I wanted to see here. And I want to go through toward to July. Show more. Yes, I need July, guys. Show more. And I just want to tell the cities where you have to be really careful if you live in the US, because it could be some issues over there. So that is still okay. We are getting to July. Yes, we're getting to July. Okay. So we're gonna have Inglewood, California on the 2nd. We're gonna have Toronto, but it doesn't matter for us. And Vancouver, British Columbia, we don't. Okay, we're going to have Arlington, Texas. Texas has to be careful on the 3rd. We also going to have Miami Garden. It's right by my backyard, the Hard Rock Stadium. And oh my God, Pisces ruled music and oh, it could be actually Miami Hard Rock Stadium. Nah, we will see. But it could be very, very devastating. And then on the 4th, we're also going to have Houston, Texas again, and Philadelphia. Lincoln Financial Field. Wow. Okay. So those are actually the cities which going to be in trouble in the US during the FIFA, guys, and during the celebration. And I truly believe the sun, obviously, it's in Cancer in the US, has a return over here, right? A solar return. The eighth house is mortality. So obviously, it could actually increase the mortality. The sun and the solar return, it's always square with Saturn. Saturn is decay, delay, disease, right? Especially in ancient astrology. So it could increase the mortality because of accidents. So there will be a lot more. Pisces is hospitalization of the people and its accident. But I'm wondering what's gonna happen also in Miami Garden in the Hard Rock Stadium. Ay, ay. And that is who is playing. I don't even know. I don't see the. Okay, I don't see who is playing, but yes, it could be something like that. And guess what? Epstein is there. Asteroid Epstein. Okay, all right. So this is devastating. But I'm gonna go a little bit further. Let me see over here. I'm going to check Trump for you guys. Um, some of you would be sad if he done, and some of you will be very happy if he's done. So first of all, you have to trust me. He does have actually a Saturn over here by progression opposing Pluto, right? And he has Mars-Uranus conjunction with Epstein in his 11th house. 11th house is, like the VIP people, Congress, who would help him, but it's also justice system over here. So Uranus and Mars could bring him down quickly because of the Epstein fire, first of all, around July 4th. Or it could be, Uranus is getting close to his natal Uranus. I told you guys, Uranus North Node and Sun conjunction in a sign, and the sign of speech, it could create a stroke for him, which is actually could be some kind of speech delay or apraxia. It could create an apraxia because of stroke, so he won't be able to, like talk. And it is opposing, right? The Sun North Node is opposing his moon in Sagittarius. So yes, right now this already can initiate something. The energy is enough over here. It's too much stress around the bottom about the Epstein fire. Melania Pest is coming, like how long can they lie? How long can they, do anything? By the way, Trump has a long time progress Israel on his midheaven. So Israel is doing a chokehold on his career. That's for sure. And it's also the midheaven, obviously, and progress Israel is squaring with his ascendant with Mars. And right now, he has Venus during this time over here in 24 degrees. So it's on Mars for him. Yes, it's 24 degrees. And with asteroid Erica. So I put Erica because of Erica Kirk over here. So something about Erica Kirk also going to be in the news, and Trump, Erica Kirk, and something about, like his vitality and his progress. Israel is over here choke holding him. Okay. But definitely it could create some kind of issues for him. And the open enemies. So he has Epstein in 3 degrees. In his natal chart, Pluto is on it. Pluto is darkness, sex trafficking, right? And even if it's trining Mars and Uranus and asteroid Epstein over here, the trine still could be very, very negative. So open enemy, someone could release some kind of data, a whistleblower, and it's out in the public. 11th house is justice and court system. It the judges over there. All right, what else is over here? But his health is anyway, it's not okay. He's going to have a solar lunar eclipse, the last lunar eclipse in Pisces in 8th house. It's poison. It could be chemotherapy poison, IVs, some kind of major issues over there. Yeah, okay, let me see. And Jupiter on Pluto. Okay. And yeah, and also on progress Saturn as well, opposing Pluto. Yeah, that's a pretty bad chart over here. Okay, what else? Let me go. Let me see GD wins a little bit. I really want to see because of Trump put him under. Um, no, actually, I want to see maybe Russia during this time. Let me see Russia during this time, guys. Where is it gonna happen for them? So Russia has a Leo ascendant, and then they're going to have Uranus, Mars, and Epstein in the 11th house. And is it going to do anything? Well, it's trining with their midheaven. So they are in superior position during this time, I would say. Hmm. Yeah, they could be in superior position. However, it is squaring with their moon in Virgo, and transit America is on the moon. So it could be some kind of loss of casualties because of the war with Ukraine. So it could be that as well. Hmm. Yeah, that's definitely there for Russia could be also somehow attacked that day. All right, let me see. Let me go further. If you see anything else, I want to know, because I don't see everything. Let me see Israel. And obviously, I don't even want to see Palestine because that's very sad. But let me see what's going on over here. So for Israel, it's in the ninth house of foreign affairs, right? Foreign affairs. And does it do anything for them? It does square with America. America is in the 12th house. Um, and it is 12 has anything to do with CIA or FBI. Um, you know the story about the Liberty boat. You know what Israel attacked in 1980 something, and most of the um, FBI people who were CIA and FBI 200s on the boat, they all died. So 12 houses sailing, 12 houses ocean. So it could be Americans could be attacked by Israel, perhaps secretly. 12 house is secret as well. And Donald is in Israel's first house and conjunct with the ascendant. They needed Donald Trump, guys. They needed Donald Trump. And there is Uranus, Mars, Epstein conjunction, trining with Donald. So definitely they are putting pressure on Trump, and definitely they are somehow bribing this moron, right? Because they are capable to bribe. And that is with the Epstein file. That is, I love astrology. It's written in the sky, and it's like unbelievable how strong it is. However, look at that Saturn. It's in the open enemies. The open enemies are very weak because Saturn is in actually fall. So Saturn is land, it's land grabbing, and Israel settlers go land grabbing in Lebanon, in West Bank, everywhere, right? But on the other hand, Saturn gonna come here in 2 years, guys, on the North Node. And when it's gonna reach the North Node, actually, then it's going to square the midpoint of Pluto and Saturn over here, okay? And then it's going to be a very, very devastating. It's going to happen 2028 and 29, and we also going to have Pluto opposition for Israel, Pluto-Saturn opposition, squaring with the sun and creating a T-square with this malefic planet, and it could actually dismantle the ethnostate in 2028 and 29. All right. What else is happening over here? I'm gonna go and move forward, and let me see, maybe, oh, Milakowiski. Let me see. Milakowiski, he's Polish. All right. Let me see. They said that his father is Polish and he was born in Israel. But I heard he was born in US, he was born in Tel Aviv, he was born in Poland, whatever, Warsaw. He has like 7 ID cards from the US. So there is a lot of lie about this evil monster. He has also a Sagittarius rising and Uranus Mars posing his ascendant, guys. And guess what else does? It is 4 degrees. It is also squaring with America. So the American public, the American people, America first government, right? Going to actually oppose him. So the people who are America first, like Tucker Carlson, Candice Owen, Nick Fuentes, whatever their names are, but a lot of people in general, even Democrats right now, America first, they are squaring with this man and they are opposing. I mean, squaring, they don't want him. He is the open enemy of Americans over here. All right, but he can order also. Uh, no, but I would think, because that's Milakowiski's chart, so Uranus ascendant opposition could be, very devastating for his body. Let me see, what is it doing with his fourth house? Squaring North Node in his fourth house. Fourth house is ending funerals, end of terms. For example, it's a different political party could take over. However, Ben-Gvir is still there, so he is like more monstrous than this Milakowiski. He is truly, truly Satan himself. So, I mean, the evil, you cut off one head of the dragon and 7 other is coming out. So that is terrible. But yeah, it could be. Let me see if it does anything. No, not with. No. Okay, so I just wanted to check a few things, but it is in the open enemy charts. And it does make a square to Saturn. Saturn is, position in his government. It is 5 degrees, 10 degrees, this is still a square over here up to 12 degrees. So yeah, it could bring in some kind of, end of term, somehow this T square there. Oh, the moon gonna be here in the afternoon, the moon going to be in his fourth house. So it could be someone, a female in his family, could get injured or actually taken out. His wife could be, and what I heard from my Israeli friends, the wife is more sadistic than Milokowiski himself, and she's the one who is ruling him, and allegedly. All right. Let me see something else over here. I want to see maybe NATO. How is NATO behaving that day? NATO has a Virgo ascendant, is 16 degrees. Uranus Mars is on, in the 10th house. So NATO has to step up because there is going to be terror attack around the world. And that's why it has to step up. But it squares with asteroid lie and propaganda. So they're going to do and bring some kind of propaganda out. So whatever NATO going to say, it's not the truth, guys. It's not the truth. And it's also squaring with asteroid America as well. So it could be like America getting out of the NATO right before July 4th because they want to attack a few countries, and if they're part of NATO, they can't. And Israel's next, victims is Turkey. So obviously, that's why the US is supposed to get out of. But I don't know if they're going to allow or not. I'm very happy they took off his idiotic name from the Kennedy Center. But yes, let me see. So the EU, I can check the European Union as well. What's going to happen during this time? Obviously, if there is issues on the airports, then it could be. So mortality, because North Node Moon going to be over here, and Uranus and Mars. Obviously, it's squaring with North Node and Moon in the sign of mortality of EU. And let me see if it does anything in the fifth house with North Node. North Node could be like someone who is the leader. Maybe the EU leader will have to resign because Chiron also going on the MC. So the leader might have to resign and it's going to be a new leader there. Yes, let me see. We not no Hungary, nothing, no news. Sam Kennedy, no Eric Trump. I brought him in because of my investigation. You're going to see that. We can see, Lebanon a little bit or Venezuela for some of you. I just gonna go where it's Lebanon going to have this in the 10th house or Uranus written ay 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 on the midheaven. Oh, they want to take out scientists, researchers, and the whole entire government. And it's squaring with the ascendant, and America is on the ascendant. America allows these attacks, and this is very terrible. Open enemy. So the open enemy of Lebanon is the country with the white and blue flag with the 6-point star. So there will be some kind of attack on that day on the researchers, Uranus, on the AI plantations, on the nuclear facilities close to, if they have any, but I don't think so. They do have any of that. So that could be really devastating for them. And Uranus Mars still opposing their sun, even if it's out of sign. Mercury is in Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the air, it rules the aviation. Mercury over there traveling, so it could be some kind of bombing on the Lebanonian airport. Let me see what else going to be here. Where Palestine, I don't want to. Iran, let's see Iran. Iran is big right now in the news. What's gonna, Iran has an ascendant of Sagittarius, also not good. But at least it's not opposing because it's very early degree, so it's not opposing. However, it's squaring its Saturn, and Saturn and asteroid are America. It's conjuncting in the 10th house. So again, they are going to attack some of their politicians and old people and politicians or historical sites as well, because Saturn also historical sites as well. And it's also squaring Venus. Venus is anything to do with nurses in Pisces, so it could be hospitals attacked. The moon gonna be here, so a lot of casualties during that time. Yeah, because Pisces rules the Marines, it rules the, yeah, attack the Strait of Hormuz. Definitely. It's going to be like total bombing over there that day of the Strait of Hormuz. Hmm. That's so sad. It's very sad. Okay, let's move forward. And let me see over here. Let's see China. Guys, what's gonna happen in China? China, actually, it's training with the moon for them. Okay. All right, it's gonna happen in the fifth house. So China is not affected the same way than the other countries. They're going to have a spare. It's gonna spare them. Hmm. China could have some kind of respiratory issues or neurological or some kind of, radiation, but it's not coming from, like an attack, but some kind of radiation could be or respiratory, like issues spreading there. Yeah, because you see, China is lucky. Uranus, Mars is very evil, but it's trining with the moon, even if Pluto in the moon, but also trining with the sun. So it's a grand trine over here. So there is a lot of nullification for China. All right. What else? Let me see. France is here or Germany. Let's see. United Kingdom, Germany. Oh, let's see. Mexico, Turkey. Okay, Turkey. So I'm gonna go through a few countries. Where is it going to happen for Turkey, guys? Turkey is going to happen in the 12th house, hospitals, hidden operations. Yeah, hidden operations. It's Turkey's, spy operations, for example, but it squares with their own Uranus in the ninth house. It's a foreign, drone issues could happen around their side, or they could have some kind of earthquake. Shush! I think yeah, they can have some kind of earthquake, hospitalization, earthquake. Yeah. Let me see what else is going on. So we need Sagittarius or Virgo North Node is here. Yeah, it could be an earthquake somehow, but it could be also some kind of hidden operation as well. Turkey could be affected by these nuclear issues or earthquake. Let's see, maybe. Okay, let's see. India, guys. How is India going to do? I have a lot of friends in India. Okay, so they have the ascendant. Oh, ascendant in 1 degree, and it's squaring the north node. The moon gonna be here. Okay, does it do anything with Virgo? Virgo is ending, and uh, India also could have some kind of tremor, shaking, tsunami, um, monsoon coming in during this time, around that time. So more like weather-related issues as well. Let's see Pakistan, because Pakistan is on Iran's side. Let's see Pakistan over here. Uranus Mars gonna happen in the second house. Is it do anything else? No. Maybe Pakistan gonna be out of the, yeah, midheaven. Pluto is on the midheaven, but it's a trine there. And let me see, Libra, the trining with Neptune in Libra. Hmm. Pakistan has nuclear power, so I don't think so they're going to fuck around with Pakistan, really. So right now it could be a little bit quieter. And this, if India has tsunamis and, like things like that, or some kind of earthquake, they are gonna be also out of this big bloodbath kind of situation. We're gonna check Mexico. I like the Mexican president. A lot of people say she is weak, but I somehow just love her. Oh yeah, Uranus Mars is on Jupiter, unfortunately. So in the 10th house, so that is the recent government, and Jupiter is in detriment for Mexico. So it could be like some kind of major issue with the government over here. And let me see, open enemy. So Moon and North Node going to square over here with this, with the open enemy side as well. So yeah, it could bring in some kind of, because they are supporting Cuba and they sent, aids to Cuba, so they could be also under attack, maybe on the ocean, maybe the boats that is taking refugees for Cubans, like aids for Cubans could be attacked. Because they want Cuba. Marco Rubio, said, yeah, they want Cuba. Netanyahu said they want Cuba. So obviously then they want to have Cuba. So if Mexico going to have, they can take their boats out, or it could be something underwater also. But that's what they do right now. They say it's Mexican cartel, and they're going to sink all the boats for them who wants to have. So, and it's also around that time, they're going to use the 250th birthday of US, and every huge, what is that? A superpower dies, empire dies at age 250. And America had its Pluto return anyway in 2 years ago, so it's started demolishing the US. Yes, let me see Canada, my Canadian friends. I have a lot of Canadian clients and friends. And let me see what's happening over here. You have that in the foreign affairs, so they might going to lose some alliances, or it could affect their airports, because ninth house is airports and traveling. And sixth house is something to do with infection. It's some kind of restriction, because of there could be, Ebola breakout or things like that. And then they're going to have to start traveling, for example, or perhaps because Canada, Mexico, and the US going to do the FIFA, and the terror attack could happen on their guys. So it could be because of the FIFA. So they could also have some kind of airplane crash or terror attack also due to, the games as well. But also it could be some kind of restriction because of Ebola or some kind of new viruses coming in. Okay, who else? Yes, Germany. Let's see Germany, and let's see, they are in FIFA. Let's see what's happening with them. All right. What's happening here? Germany has it in the sixth house. Workers, it is actually more like the union, the workers, the blue collar workers going to protest. And maybe because of, because of healthcare issues, or because of the circumstances at a workplace is not, the conditions are not good. Definitely, or they're going to want to stop every tie with America, for example. That could be also one issue here as well for the Germans. The people, the blue colors will say, okay, no to, support America's bloodbath, for example. All right. Let's see what else we bring. United Kingdom. Mm, okay. Let's see, United Kingdom over here, they're going to have that in the ninth house, same as Germany. Ah, and they have that square with Pluto in the sixth house. Wow, all right. It could be like a queen, not queen, but a prince or a princess could get sick, very sick. Pluto in Pisces could be some kind of Cancer for a monarchy member who is a prince or princess, not the king itself, right? No, prince or princess. Or it could be something to do with maybe even Andrew, because Epstein is there, and ninth house is some kind of legal matters, and Pluto over here. So, and Pisces is prison, so might get imprisoned finally, Andrew. So it could be a beautiful day if he would, but there is other millions of brutal abuser out there, so we should really put all of them away. Let's see Saudi Arabia and South Africa, and I'm done. Guys, I'm gonna do the 12 signs and I'm done because I talk a lot. So here it is, Saudi Arabia. Ooh, open enemies also. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And actually, square with propaganda, Neptune, something to do on the waters, oil. It could actually bomb or attack their oil tank. Saudi Arabia's oil could go under bombing, like heavily bombed, and everything is on fire. Hmm. Yeah, that's the initiating something terrible. Unfortunately, they also have, the sun was opposing Saturn, Neptune. The king is going to have to go and the prince gonna take over. So yeah, that's gonna happen very soon. Let me see South Africa, and then that's it. South Africa gonna happen in the fifth house on Pluto. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Does it do anything else? Yes, North Node in Virgo in the eighth house. So that could be South Africa could have a protest, a terrible, deadly protest, North Node, because of, uh, where they are heading, shifting collectively. It's not the right way. So there could be major protest. The youth going to protest mostly. But yes, it could be pretty hard on them, pretty hard on them. And it's because of, salary, and how unequal is the 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 money distributed between people. It's about that. All right, so that's it. I'm done with sharing. So I'm going to stop sharing over here. And you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, maybe I'm going to share this because I'm gonna go one by one, sign by sign over here. So where is Uranus and Mars conjunction? And I think this one is the one. Yes. Not necessarily this one I want to share, but let me see. I wanted to share one for you guys here, maybe. And I'm going to talk about each individual rising sign, perhaps for you. Um, okay. And I'm gonna go all the way to the end. And let me see, where is Aries? And I'm gonna start there and share it with you, and let's talk and let's see what's going on and how is it manifest in your life. By the way, when I'm talking about, like how can it manifest in your life, guys, it is always easier on individuals' lives as well. The public could suffer more in general. Collective shift is always more intense. Than in general personal readings. But definitely, as I said, the market going to panic. We're going to have oil issues with, the Iranian war, and we're also going to have Lebanon under attack as well. Defense stock could definitely rise during this time because of we're gonna have some drone warfare and some kind of, tension and drone targeting as well. Uh, and journalism under attack, as I said, yeah, I don't even want to say anything else. I'm just going to talk about each individual rising sign. here. You can use, by the way, yes, one more thing I wanted to say. You can use remedies, for example, anti-Mars and anti-Uranus remedies, guys. And because Uranus is in fall in Taurus, Taurus ruled by Venus, and Mars also in fall in Libra, which is ruled by Venus, we can use Venusian, remedies. So you can do Friday altar, Venus altar every Friday, or you can use green jade, green, boudoir to put on to fight against this Mars Uranus. You can use herbal teas like anything to do with rose petal, lavender, vanilla, anything fragmented, jasmine tea. Um, you can use sweet smoothies, for example, honey. Honey is very Venusian. Feed the beets, gardening. Make sure you are sprouting gardening. It's very Venusian energy. And make sure you are grounding. Either use a grounding mat or, go out and stay in the garden, being centered, and you do art and music, floral and arrangement, some kind of feminist activism, gift for single mothers. Make sure you are doing those, and then you are capable to fight against this very, very harsh Uranus and Mars conjunction. All right, my daughters, Aries rising sun and moon, it's going to be actually in your third house, which is travel, local travel, cars, neighbors, siblings, school system, writing, phones, anything to do with your lungs, hands, arms. So, it could be under attack. It could be suddenly triggered. You can have some kind of conflict with your sibling or your neighbor, aunt, nephew, niece, uncle, It could be like your text they misunderstood and they're gonna start a family fight and you have to try to, like balance it out. Your neighbor going to start to fight with you because of your flower reaching over or your fruit tree. You can have some kind of traffic chaos or some kind of car problems as well, so be careful. The Uranus and Mars could be also heat stroke, and you can have some kind of dizziness because of heat, and that's why you can get into accident as well. But it could tremble your voice, perhaps. You have to be really courageous to speak up or create a podcast or launch something. It's good for launching, though, but if you are launching, maybe you will be really, really angry. You can have some kind of noodle on your throat, on your thyroid. You might going to need a thyroid surgery or taking off that noodle, for example, because you have a hoarse voice. You can have some kind of, inflammation, yes, in the infection on the throat. Anxiety definitely could spike. Carpal tunnel, shoulder, um, frozen shoulder. It could bring in some kind of Martian inflammation there. Definitely restless leg syndrome, or you are just so overwhelmed with the news and you need to, like listen music and dancing because otherwise you feel like you're going to go crazy. So stop YouTubing and podcasting because of, it's overstimulate you. Definitely you can learn something suddenly, but the watching the news could definitely overstimulate you. You can start a tutoring business, by the way, as well, something to do with AI cryptocurrency. You teaching people for cryptocurrency. If you are, in community and you can get involved in gossip and it could create some kind of conflict in your neighborhood or in your environment. Careful with protest if you go into farmers market because even over there could be some kind of attack or some kind of issues there. Yeah, and if you're a freelancer, then it could be like, all right, you get a sale course or, some kind of content. You're going to get invited for a podcast out of nowhere and it could spike and you can get a lot of follower overnight. Yeah, and careful to type a lot because carpal tunnel could come in. Do breath work and walking and stretching. It's very important as well. Um, and you can get some kind of legal notice actually from your neighbor. Maybe you are sued right now, so careful. Then we're going to go Taurus rising sun and moon, and it's going to happen actually your second house, which is income, money, your voice, your savings, your possession, the food you eat. That's your moral self-worth, the pricing and your personal resources. So it could actually bring in some kind of instability with your income, with your like finances. You might going to sell some kind of digital product. Maybe you writing newsletter or doing social media monetization for other people or tutoring or things like that, marketing. So it could bring in some kind of payment surprises, but also some kind of expenses because maybe you need a new computer or a new phone. And then, or you have to pay for your workshop or your children workshop you didn't want to, or you didn't know you will have to, their AI, workshop. And my husband is Taurus rising, and we just found out Martin signed up, and MIT is doing some kind of AI workshop, and it's $1,400 one part, and it's like free for part. I was like, "Are you crazy?" This is like I don't have $6,000-7,000 for summer AI program for you. That is insane. But you can find out that as well. So yeah, or you can suddenly raise your prices because you have enough. You didn't value yourself. You were undercharging or overgiving, and you are just okay. I have enough talent. I'm done. I'm not going to do that. The price is not negotiable. Done. It could be also, you buying more groceries, or the groceries cost could go up, but anyway, you can buy more because of, there is a civil war and somehow you have to fight for the food that you are buying. Or maybe it's a hurricane coming or tsunami or whatever, and you have to be ready. But also it could bring in some kind of allergy or food sensitivity for you as sensitivity as well for you guys. It could be something like, you can have some kind of issue with invoices and payments. Maybe your Venmo is off or your PayPal, like not working. It could bring in some kind of technology-based income, definitely. Uranus, right? Anything to do with crypto, or if you put money in technology, in digital courses, online platforms, apps, maybe you're going to create an app and you can monetize that. You can actually get rid of your subscriptions because it's leaking money for sure. Spending also could become impulsive. You can buy phones, laptops, cameras, courses like you want to study, and it could happen as well. And you can lose money on trading platforms. Maybe you didn't put you kept it in hot wallet, not cold wallet, and it could be actually hacked. So careful with that. Uh, you are Taurus, so your voice could become, like your income. Maybe you are doing voiceover recording or singing or podcasting or teaching speech therapy for children. Definitely, a market could become volatile for you. But try to put money in AI or defense or something like that, telecom media, because for shorter trading, actually, it could go up during this time. And you might going to declutter. You have enough, and you just want to liberate yourself from clutters, and you're going to get rid of everything what is old, and you're cleaning out your closet, giving away, the anything online, or you canceling subscriptions as well. Gemini rising sun and moon, it's going to happen actually in your first house. Your body, your identity, personal style, health, confidence, anything to do with courage and how others, experience you, how you express yourself. So, you can feel like you are plugged in some kind of electricity, You are heated, you are driven, you have a lot of libido, courage, you are very impatient and angry, and you have physical energy. So you could be very unpredictable, and it could be a very awakening energy. You can come out from the closet, your public identity is changing, your look, your glasses, your wardrobe, anything, and you're not gonna be polite anymore. And also, your body gets overstimulated because you have insomnia, you're downloading informations, and you can have some kind of twitching or spasm or fast heartbeat, arrhythmia, respiratory sensitivity, shoulder tension, or carpal tunnel. That's what, Gemini rules. Mars is the heat over there. So some kind of inflammation, obviously. And then you can definitely become more confrontational. You can start fight. Maybe it can start with a bit with humor, because you have some kind of clever language, but it turns out you are offensive and you offend other, and it become, a fight. Uh, if you want to do some kind of new personal branding, shift your YouTube channel, your social media, it could be like you can get definitely a stronger public voice right now. And you can definitely attract more attention because you can become unique and very magnetic and very brilliant and funny. So it would be hard for people to ignore you, right? You're going to attract people with your independence, you're going to have more clients, even your family going to see you are acting differently, and you're going to raise some eyebrow. Definitely will be prone to accidents, so careful with cars and careful not to walk in, thunderstorm, because then lightning accident could happen, sudden fever out of nowhere, or you just hormonal and you become aggressive and you're not capable to multitask. Uh, if you want to launch, for example, a new course, something with writing project, or like AI, for example, technology, it could be really, really great for you. You will become brilliant and sharp and clever with your jokes, and it could be also go for your benefit as well. And you're going to liberate yourself from the old. Cancer rising sun and moon, it's going to happen actually in your 12th house. 12th house is the hidden, it's isolation, hospitals, your dreams, your private grief, self-sabotaging behavior, anything to do with spiritual retreat. It's subconscious, it's, old patterns and endings. It's also hidden enemies as well. And you might going to actually have some kind of major anxiety, something which cannot be hidden anymore, right? Your dreams are lucid and absolutely, it could be like even very erotic, or it could be warlike dreams. It's gonna bother you, so you are not going to be able to sleep because you are angry, or you have panic attacks, for example. It could bring like, okay, I need to go to therapy because I'm doing self-medication, and I have some kind of addiction, so I need some kind of grounding test. It could be a therapy, a prayer, or let's go to hospital. It could bring in some kind of hidden messages, leaked text, for example, secret emails, and you're going to find out who is your hidden enemy, who is, gossiping behind your back. Mars definitely could bring in conflict, and Uranus is going to expose it. And it is like, all right, right now I have a screenshot, so you cannot actually deny it, and that's it. And it could also bring in some kind of hospitalization, obviously, because that is, or something to do with putting in jail, because maybe you are protesting and they put you for overnight for jail. So be careful over there. If you are gossiping, you can self-sabotage yourself. So careful, and careful with fake supporters as well, because it could be devastating. You can have like sudden awakenings and prophetic downloads through insomnia, obviously, but very strange symbolic messages as well. So definitely keep a journal next to your bed to make sure you're writing down everything. It could be some kind of hidden inflammation, some kind of chronic hidden stress, but hidden inflammation, I would like to talk about, like Epstein-Barr or like Lyme disease over here could come up for you guys. Something to do with digital detox. So go somewhere, go in nature, don't get into the rabbit hole to research, and be obsessive about that because it could bring in some kind of mental breakdown. Get away, try to just go for a week and detach yourself totally. Spiritual breakthrough for sure. It could be something mystical. You will be capable to talk to the death, the who passed on. You can see angels. You can, and this is good time to write. For example, lyrics and plays, screenplays as well. So that would be really good for a writing project. Behind the scenes, something with poetry, or you can study astrology and become later on a master because you are studying right now. Your subconscious is really active, very, very active. It could definitely connect you right now with hospital retreats and therapy as well. Or you just impulsively going to buy a hotel or like create an Airbnb or a retreat center out of nowhere. Leo rising sun and moon, it's going to happen in your 11th house, which is friends, groups, and audience. It's also your social media networking. It could be political activism, your community organization, your future goals and dreams, right? So it could be like your friend group could expose, and there will be a sudden, gossip and fighting and breakups in friends. There could be political disagreement. It could be also on social media, and you guys are fighting on social media. People are not loyal and they're going to, like revolve. Finally, they are not because they are gossiping. Gemini adds to the gossip over here. Um, yeah, definitely. So if you have Leo moon rising or sun, it could happen with you. Something to do with your audience. It could also grow fast, It could be excellent for that in blogging or podcasting or online communities, but also it could bring in trolls and issues with social media itself. Make sure your messages are clean, right? And it is not like you are putting gas on the fire. Political communities could become organizations, non-profits could become actually heated activist group. You can become a leader of an activist group, and you can actually get injured if you go to protest. So be careful. Definitely there is going to be, you can speak on social media, messaging against wars and speaking up for debate for freedom and education, against censorship and AI, for example, as well. Your future plan might going to change overnight. Uranus is very interruptive, and your long-term goals is not what it was before. You need a new strategy. You're going to shift your audience and drop some kind of collaboration or old dreams. You done with that. Money may going to come through networks. 11th house, a friend, community membership. Maybe, you are doing a professional circle, a Patreon community, a newsletter, speaking, networking, marketing, right? And then also anything to do with friendship with tech people or protesters or astrologers. You can go to astrology conferences. You can become an activist. For example, Uranus is definitely activist, the talker in Gemini, the writer, the journalist who not going to shut up, who going to go and make sure, he will be heard. Social media conflict, yes, definitely. For you guys, anything to do with attacking and trolls and bots, you will have to be careful with. Uh, There could be also some kind of clash between your romantic partner or between your children and your community life. Maybe you have to do a lot of events and event coordination, or you always away because of political party and they don't want that. They want you to be home. Your nervous system is totally overloaded with collective noise, too many people, too many messages, too many opinions or options, and you are going to be like overwhelmed for sure. And it could be also, like Uranus Mars could be also like maybe you are too liberal, and that's why socially you not necessarily approved your liberal ideas. Virgo rising sun and moon, it is going to happen in your what house? 10th house, actually. And 10th house is your career, reputation, public image, leadership, bosses, government, anything to do with visibility. And it could bring in career disruption, and it definitely arrives suddenly. You can experience a job change, something conflict with an authority figure. It could bring in a sudden promotion or also unexpected resignation as well. Some kind of technical crisis, some kind of public, humiliation in your professional direction. And Mars is ambition, but also conflict as well. But Uranus is definitely disruption, and it could, like, all right, I don't know, there is a lot of meeting, interview, but you can screw it up somehow, and your reputation could suffer from that. Your public voice definitely gonna become stronger, and that's why maybe your reputation is decreasing because of you are talking the truth, and not everybody is ready for the truth. So, you can be, the voice of a company. You can be the slogan of, something. You launch a platform, anything to do with published content, teaching, presentation, talk, like red carpet. Yes, and then it definitely it could be like, all right, you can suddenly just say, okay, I'm done with corporate, I'm going to get retired and I'm gonna start my own business. I'm done with this, I cannot do that anymore, I have to resign. You can be a rebellion against the government system or against the parents, for example, or maybe a CEO. Also, there could be some kind of sudden, media exposure, Uranus, right? Podcasting article, which could go to live, and you're going to be suddenly be famous, 15 minutes fame. Career definitely can shift, and it could shift toward technology and maybe to become a astrologer, an astronomer, engineer, for example, as well, architect as well. You can do journalism, AI tutoring, and anything to do with media as well. Public criticism going to be, more harsh right now. There will be some weirdos also, which could hurt your feelings suddenly. There could be some kind of contract documents, but going to need attention. It could be very professional, so maybe sign a divorce paper, change your name right now. There could be also some kind of unexpected job offer for you. Um, and it could be careful to miss deadlines during this time, Virgos. It's because you are very stressful. It could also bring in, because the 10th house is the head. No, the 10th house is actually, that's ruled by Saturn, sorry. So that is something to do with your knee. So there could be some kind of knee surgery, careful with that. Some kind of leg issues there. Don't overwork, or running, and then you need a knee surgery. Yeah. Yeah, but definitely an identity crisis, some kind of new uh, identity in your career. You're going to liberate yourself. Libra rising sun and moon is going to happen in your ninth house, which is your higher education, publishing, religion, philosophy, immigration, anything to do with older sibling travel, universities, ethics, prophecy. It's your beliefs, it's foreign land, it's legal system, immigration. You might going to suddenly move, or you get a documents, or a court feelings, anything to do with the university application, anything to do with the citizenship. It could be an issue, right? For if you want to go to a foreign country, if something is quickly changing, even bringing luck, or it's more issues. There could be also a travel plane going to change quickly, flight going to get delayed, passports. Maybe there is an international threat on the airport and you won't be able to go anymore. It could be weather issues as well. Obviously, some kind of weather, sudden, like earthquake or lightning strikes, and the airlines are down for 2 days, and the airline apps. Your belief system is cracking also, your philosophy, your religion, your, political and religious morals. You are moving away from the religion, you liberating yourself suddenly. You don't want to become a teacher anymore, or you don't believe anymore. Maybe you become atheist. Maybe, you're coming up with a new religious idea as well. And if you're publishing, actually you can publish something unexpectedly. You download something overnight and you write, and you publish it right away. Um, Mars going to give you courage to talk, to do a podcast, to do YouTubing, for example. You can learn languages and quickly as well. It could bring in a second marriage. You go to Vegas and overnight you marry with someone after a month. And it could also bring in some kind of new decisions with education policies or university decisions. Maybe you were denied, but right now somebody is fallen out and you will be accepted. And you can have a very, very heavy religious debate, and it could go off, and it could create some kind of conflict with teacher or professor, and it could bring in some kind of legal matter. You might going to need to hire an attorney as well. It could be against a spiritual figure as well. Maybe your child get, like sexually harassed, or you get sexually harassed by a professor. So you need to get some kind of legal authority into this to bring justice in your life. Yes, and it could be like you just leave the school and you don't want to be a university student anymore. You just doing a dropout right now. Online education is bringing sudden opportunities for you, some kind of certification, language learning, definitely some kind of astrology program, perhaps. You can have something with let me write to my friend Puravida. Okay, so yes, so it could bring in those kind of opportunities for you. I don't know where I have been, Libra. Yes, so it is your ninth house. Okay, so yes, conflict with teachers, with educational platforms as well. Careful with your hips, because and your liver. It could be some kind of fatty liver issues, inflammation of the liver. It could be like hepatitis. A hepatitis outbreak could happen. Yeah, and it could inflame also your hips as well. Um, you know. It could be very liberating in the ninth house from dogmas, and you are not going to be censored anymore. You want to study on your own way. You're going to get rid of your mentor, for example, or yeah, it could happen. Scorpio rising sun and moon is going to happen in your eighth house, guys. Oh, that shared money, tax, debts, loans, inheritance, investment, anything to do with sex, trauma, anything. Just Martin. So Scorpio rising. Just a second, guys. The boys are. So anything to do with loans, you can get an inheritance. You can have some kind of, issues with taxes or with your loans. Maybe you're going to have so much money from crypto or some stock investment you because invested, in military defense or drones or whatever. So you are capable to don't payment your whole entire mortgage. Something to do with your spouse income. It could either bring in some kind of credit card debts or debts from the spouse, or it could bring in sudden increase of their income as well. But it could bring also conflict because of income. With Uranus Mars over here, it could bring in a sudden pregnancy, or some of you Uranus Mars unfortunately could bring a miscarriage as well. It's a sudden miscarriage because eighth house as well. So definitely be careful with accidents. It could bring in some kind of surgery because eighth house is surgery, some kind of financial, with what is that cyber attacks. So, be careful with your bank account, with hidden accounts over here, because either it could be exposed or, it could be also like money taken out from your account and disappear. Definitely investment risk, eighth house, something to do with the prenup. Maybe you are divorcing and you have to pay a lot of money out for your significant other or your ex. Volatility on stock, tax surprises, risky trades. Coming in with this Uranus Mars here. Intimacy could feel very electric, like it could be, Mars rules libido and passion, and Uranus brings some kind of either electricity or detachment. So either it will be like, okay, like I'm touching my partner and, like it's electricity and it is so amazing, flirtation and curiosity. But it also could be like, detachment. Uranus is like, no, I'm just, not interested anymore. Some kind of sexual tension could be as well. Missed signals, definitely. Or triangles, right? So it could bring in some kind of triangles as well. It could be some kind of liberation through therapy work, some kind of breakthrough with psychologists as well. Mars cuts the wound, so definitely it could be like some kind of surgery on your arm, on your wrist, on your maybe shoulder kind of issues there. But it could be also, bring some kind of betrayal through money or, sexual betrayal, some cheating as well. Um, it could be something to do with loans and credit cards and medical bills as well. Maybe somebody paying off your medical bills. There is an insurance claim. It could either, require immediate actions, or it's going to be denied, or somebody is helping you to pay your surgery cost, for example. Um, as well. But health very important. So there is a lot of stress. It could be something with your reproductive organs, with your prostate, with your ovaries. So definitely go and check. Go to do some kind of ultrasound as well. Because some kind of hormonal imbalances could come in as well during this time. It could be something to do with, resources. That's your other people's money, and maybe the IRS going to send more money what you refund, and when the IRS sends you more money, you don't have to pay that back. Yes, it could be also some kind of intellectual property and royalty going to be a matter over here. Maybe you were a writer and, there could be some kind of passive income coming in from that, or licensing. If you had any kind of dependency or secrecy, shame, or any kind of fear and that sexual silence, that could be either exposed, or you are capable to break free right now and not allowing, psychological manipulation. My Sagittarius rising sun and moon, fellow friends, it's going to happen in our seventh house, which is, partnership, contract, open enemies, public relationship, your VIP clients, your followers, business alliances, your competitors. And it is, like relationship dynamic going to change, and it could change suddenly. Maybe you demand freedom, maybe you reveal something unexpectedly. You can start a fight, or it could be a surprising proposal, an engagement, or wedding. Uranus is definitely rebellion, and Gemini brings in the conversation, the message, the dual perspective. And for you guys, it is something very adaptable, very alive. And and also it could be like client relationship as well, could become unpredictable, or a lot of client going to book suddenly. Maybe you're going to have a surge in your social media follower, right? You're gonna have a lot more contract here. But if especially if you are doing something with astrology, writing, teaching, marketing, AI, it could create, you can create more, content as well. It could be excellent for fast business growth. You might be going to be invited for podcast and going to go viral overnight, and have a lot of followers, for example. It could also bring in some kind of legal conflict if you have business partner, some kind of public disagreement, some kind of social media challenges, some kind of competitive behavior. I have one, thanks God, another astrologer who is such a nasty piece of crap, and always behind the back is trying to very, very negative. All right, but this is happening in life. You have to solve this, and Gemini is wording, so you will be capable to protect yourself. It is like you're not going to let yourself go. You're not going to negotiate for sure. Mars is going to protect you over here. Your marriage could, either need an honest dialogue or need some space. If you have a long-term partner, you might going to have some kind of independent. You want some kind of independence, and but make sure you both are honest. That's very, very important. And your word is not going to create more chaos. Dating could become, very sudden for Sagittariuses, and you can go to social, media or apps, dating apps, or you can go maybe to, because it's Gemini, maybe you're going to a workshop somewhere, a short trip somewhere, and that's where you can meet someone. Or maybe your sibling, your friends, your neighbor want to connect you with someone. And the chemistry could be very, very high, but you don't want to be bored, because Uranus Mars is very active, and if somebody have no jokes, or there is no sparks, or they are not witty, then you can, quickly. So it disputes and moves quickly. It could bring in a lawsuit, a mediation, for example, a divorce contract negotiation as well. And then, definitely relationship stress, Sagittarius rising. And you might going to actually have some kind of seventh house issue. Seventh house is anything to do with hormonal imbalances, but it is also kidney as well. Balance itself. So you might going to have some kind of dizziness. Maybe you don't have enough magnesium in your diet, so be careful, right? Or minerals. Definitely, you can have some kind of partnership and collaboration, and it's out of nowhere. Someone who is very well known could ask you to be on their social platform and give you a heads up and a shout out, and it could bring in a lot of people for you guys. All right, Capricorn rising, sun and moon is going to happen actually in your sixth house of health, work, and daily routine co-workers. That's your pets, your services, your daily task, your maintenance work, rental property. Rental property could have some kind of sudden electricity issue or something to do with chemical leak or something to do with tornadoes around, it could be also like you can have a fight with an employee. Careful with your dog or cat could have a seizure, especially if you have some kind of flea medications, right? Because Uranus also bugs as well. So it could be Mars is poison for the bugs and it's creating some kind of seizures. What else could happen? Anything to do, not just conflict with coworker. You can actually fight in a gym. You go to the gym, you see someone with, like a flag or a hat, but you don't like, and you just initiate some kind of communication, but they're going to be very aggressive right away, and it could be unpredictable. So don't start any kind of fight. And don't get over caffeinated because you can be dizzy. You can have seizures. So careful with stimulants, for example. So also, what else it could bring? Mars could be high fever. So it could be some kind of allergic reaction, and it could bring in some kind of fever as well. For some of you, definitely, it's the sixth house, it's head. You need to maintain yourself. You can become very nervous. You feel like your arms, your shoulders, your wrist, like it's like tremoring, or like has some kind of spasm, especially if you work out a lot. You can hurt yourself. What else? You can have some kind of ADHD pattern, because you have anxiety, and it could bring in like you are not able to concentrate, you don't find the words. It could be some kind of acute flare-up of infection or inflammation if you had any before, and some kind of, accident, burns and cuts, careful. So the other thing could happen, maybe at work, the technology is failing and you need to upgrade because computers, phones, our old scheduling system are not working. And it could bring in and slow the business down, definitely. Definitely, the pet could need some kind more attention as well. As I said, it could be seizure or some kind of infection as well. Or careful with accidents with your pet. Don't allow them without leash running out the house. If you are a freelancer, you can become very, very busy during this time with editing or AI, content creating, consulting, for example. Um, then it could be like because of it, you can get overwhelmed with information, and especially if your work is new and you are like, oh my God, I'm not capable to do this anymore because it's too much information. I don't know how to use the computer. That software is very hard for me, and you can break down. There could be, if you are actually having your own company, there could be some kind of staff and employee issues, right, as well. Maybe a lot of people going to have some kind of bacterial infections, and they are, like you are out of staff right now. And it's going to be hard to manage work because of there is no support at this moment. Yeah, but it could be like if you are working for the union, you can go to protest because of, the working environment is not, you know, um, good for anyone. Um, Productivity could become, because of it's hectic, it could become very scattered right now. So definitely you need to get some, either a manager or, like some kind of mm, notepads to write down everything. Liberate yourself from toxic people. That's definitely very important right now. Aquarius rising sun and moon is going to happen actually in your fifth house of children, romance, creativity, fertility, pleasure, performance, speculation, gambling, hobbies, and artistic self-expression. You can get pregnant accidentally. You can go gamble and either win a lot of money or actually lose a lot of money. it could bring in some kind of creative inspiration. And if you do so, you can make a video, a film, like perform lyrics, and you can become, like well-known overnight. It could bring some kind of, you are doing your first stand-up comedy, and even you're going to get trolled, or, it's going to be a massive applaud for you. Mars is giving you courage, and Uranus in Gemini, definitely, it's very genius, and like very sarcastic as well, so it could bring in amazing opportunity. Your children going to need attention because they're going to be rebels and talking back, or doing things that it's really going on your nerves right now, impulsive behaviors, or they doing some kind of drama, or there could be like they always on the phone and you want to get them away, but they don't allow that, and they have some kind of meltdown. You need to watch their text and their social media, because there could be some kind of not only mental overload, but some kind of abuse through, social media. Careful, there could be a bully over there. And Uranus Mars is also many times could be, what is that, suicide as well. In the 12th house, 8th house, we need to be careful. In this case, it could be some kind of bullying of a child, rumors, and online, and then it could, like create some kind of chaos as well. It could be also some kind of social media performance of yours, some kind of comedy or song could go viral, and or a live stream, and you do some kind of witty commentary, and it is like, oh, okay, that's, we love this person, and great with jokes, stand-up comedy. Uh, yes, pregnancy. I was talking about that, and news around pregnancy or children. If you can have a grandchild or a child as well. Your inner child might going to rebel. It is like, I want to enjoy life. I want to be my mini me. I don't want to have so much responsibility. I have enough. I want to detach myself from responsibility. I just want to dance and laugh and create, and that is my medicine. Just let me go, let me do what I want. It could, what would be good, go to Zumba or go to dance every Saturday or whatever, and it could be really good. You can also do your first stand-up comedy, and first, how do they call that? Stand-up mic or something like that, yeah. Um, all right. And then the last but not least, I'm doing that for a long time. Pisces rising, sun and moon. My sun is in Pisces. It's gonna happen actually in your fourth house, guys. Family, home, parents, property, anything to do with your emotional foundation, private life, your land, your living situation. Unexpectedly, suddenly, it could become chaos, a home life, some kind of rupture in the foundation, something to do with, a tornado, some kind of electricity issues in the house. It could be like a family news is going to have to move your plants. Somebody maybe in the family is passing. You have to go home, and you have to do something abroad. For example, maybe if your home is abroad, there could be household argument. There could be argument about, a house. How much do you want to, invest in a house? Do you want to renovate, or why did you pay the decorator $200,000 for a living room when I didn't want to spend that money? Kind of situation could be as well. It could be some kind of, surprise, like the foundation needs attention because of you find a document and you are like, oh my God, my grandfather is not my grandfather. you know, some kind of major surprise over there. A family conversation, could reveal some kind of secrets about parents, siblings, cousins, anything like that. Oh, yeah, and expose the truth, because Gemini is the words and the truth over there, and Uranus gonna expose it. It could be something happening with your kitchen. You might going to need check the electricity, the gas leaking in your kitchen, the gas stove. And it could also a sudden relocation. You have to change your living situation, and it's urgent and it's done. You know, your lease is ending quickly, your real estate, because of you get into a new school district, or your neighbors are crazy, and you just suddenly move, and it's a sudden decision. As well. So that could be something to do with home technology could fail, or you get some kind of Wi-Fi security cameras, smart devices. You can actually do that around the house right now. You can put more cameras. And if we have civil war and social unrest, a lot of people going to do that for sure. Or you can buy or create a home office for yourself, for example. Um, and there could be some kind of new communication between you and your family members. Maybe you feel like you were ignored, or you need some kind of detachment. Maybe you are the one who always taking care of everyone, and you just have enough. You're working, if you're working from home, that could become intense. Maybe your children are home, and it's hard for you to work while they are opening the door all the time. That's what's happening with me constantly. Very hard for me to record. It could be also your parents could have some kind of sudden news, maybe with their health, some kind of medical emergencies. It could be some kind of stroke, heart, circulatory issues, or neurological issue of a parent, which needs attention, unfortunately. Um, yeah, and it could be also some kind of what else could be? Um, inherit a property, or it could some kind of mortgage paperwork, insurance issues, or permits, could be in center of attention right now, but it's going to need very careful review. With real estate, with contracts, sudden deadlines, and errors as well. Maybe errors because you are, like having a designer, but they did something, or you renovated your home, but the renovation went wrong as well. And health could be affected, and it could be some emotional issues as well, something to do with digestion system, something to do with fourth house, maybe breast as well. Fourth house could be breast, Uranus, Mars over there, right? Um, and you're going to maybe liberate yourself from inherited beliefs. And you're going to say, I don't need that kind of family control and family conditioning. And the stories about, money or safety and how to save and kind of situation. I just want to become who I am. And I don't believe in genetics. I believe in biology of belief. And that's why you want to, or family karma. It's very important as well. All right, my loves, I finished. It became like a 3 hour podcast. But, as I said, I'm going to provide a timestamp with this as well. And look for more videos. Thank you so much. Bye for now.